I'm Reverend Nancy Dibelius of the United Methodists of Upper New York. I would like to introduce the spiritual discipline of simplicity. The discipline of simplicity is an inward reality first that seeks to live in relationship with God. When we truly seek God first, that will then result in an outward lifestyle that frees us from possessions and the desire to continue to acquire possessions. The Bible is full of teachings about the accumulation of wealth and the hoarding of possessions. In Leviticus, we are told that the earth belongs to God, and therefore no one has the right to perpetual ownership. The year of Jubilee was intended as an opportunity for the regular redistribution of wealth, because all that we have and all that we are come from God and ultimately belong to God. Jesus often spoke out against the materialism of his day. No servant can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and wealth. In chapter 6 of Luke, Jesus calls the poor blessed, for theirs will be the kingdom of God. He often told those who would follow him that they must first rid themselves of their possessions if they would truly be his followers. Simplicity, however, is not asceticism. God does not intend for us to live in abject poverty either. Simplicity is focused on putting possessions in proper perspective. It rejoices in that which God has provided. Simplicity is about reorienting our lives so that possessions can be enjoyed and we recognize what we have as a gift from God, something to be freely shared with others. The inner reality is not, however, a reality until we exhibit an outward expression. How might you practice the outward expression of simplicity? For example, buy things for their usefulness rather than their status. Recognize and separate yourself from those things that have produced an addiction. Develop a habit of giving things away. Strive to avoid the latest gadget. Learn to enjoy things without owning them. Avoid the buy now, pay later attitude. Seek honesty and integrity in your relationships and dealings with others. Reject those things that breed and encourage the oppression of others. Avoid those things, those situations that take your attention from God and your relationship with God. From Richard Foster's Celebration of Discipline. May God give you and me the courage, the wisdom, the strength always to hold the kingdom of God as the number one priority of our lives. To do so is to live in simplicity. What are some ideas for practicing simplicity? Buy things for their usefulness rather than their status. As we find ourselves in a culture that seems to embrace status, our position relative to our peers, our recognition as valued individuals, we are inundated with marketing that seeks to convince us that we need to possess things, and those things will ensure that we are seen as valuable and important. Take time over the next month to notice advertisements. What exactly are they advertising? What specifically will be different, better about your life were you to possess this item, at least according to the marketing company? Evaluate both the item and the marketing strategy carefully. As you consider it critically, will it really provide whatever has been ascribed to it in the ad? More importantly, do you really need this item or the advantage they suggest it will offer? How will this item form and transform your life in healthy ways? Will this item enhance your relationship with God, with your neighbors, with your community? Strive to avoid the latest gadget. Does this item qualify as the latest gadget piece of technology? As you consider the newest phone, notebook, TV, video game, appliance, piece of clothing, car, etc., what would be your intent for owning this object? Does it meet an important need in your life? When you are considering something new, allow yourself a period of time to sit with the idea. Don't run out and be the first in your neighborhood, your community, your workplace to own it simply to be the first. As you consider the need it might fill, are there other ways to meet this need? Is it really a need? Consider whether this item has become part of an addiction. Think about what it really means to be addicted to something. Addiction is anything that disables our freedom to choose, to act, to respond. Paul described it as a power that controls. The good thing I want to do, I never do. The evil thing which I do not want, that is what I do. Addiction can be very subtle, and it is often easy to ignore. And yet, as Paul would suggest, it separates us from the deep desire of God. So I would invite you in the month ahead to consider a hiatus from acquiring something new. In that time, evaluate the need, how this item will meet the need. What is your real motivation for acquiring it? Be honest with yourself, and then be honest with God. Be prayerful and invite God to help you discern whether you truly need to acquire this item.